The modern game is placing a huge emphasis on how teams move the ball forward and how effective they are when they're in possession of the football. With this, it's placing a huge focus on how players move, not just individually but collectively. And when we're thinking about how players move collectively, we can use the term rotation. And that's what we're going to take a look at in today's video. We're going to talk about rotations and try and develop an understanding of what they are and how they can be used. As always, I will leave timestamps and chapters below. I'm Coach Reese. Let's get into the video. Rotations occur when a team is in possession of the ball and are coordinated movements between two or more players. Rotations occur all over the pitch and are during each stage of a team's progression through the pitch. Rotations are vital for how a team move the ball forward. The rotating players will often exchange positions and will be used to either create space for a player to receive the ball or manipulate the defending team's structure, which will then in turn create space that can be exploited. Rotations play a vital role in how a team progresses the ball forward. Rotations occur all over the pitch, so it's something that we might see during a team's initial phase, and then we might see even more rotations occur when the team are in the final third and they're looking to break down the opposition's low block. And with that, rotations are incredibly important when we're trying to destabilise a defensive team's structure. Rotations can begin quite simply and involve two players making opposite movements. A great example of players making opposite movements is the striker becoming a false nine. With this rotation, the striker will drop into the space between opposition defensive and midfield lines. This movement will engage the defending centre-back, who may be required to follow the dropping striker. This will then create space in behind, which can be exploited by a teammate who can make a run from within the half space. If an individual player makes a movement, so if we think about the example we've just discussed, which is the false nine, which is the striker making that dropping movement, it can still be effective and the striker may get on the ball. But if we pair that with another movement from a supporting player, so in our example we used a player from within the half space, it becomes incredibly effective because the centre-back is now faced with a decision of who do I mark, what do I do? And this is when rotations really become effective. Rotations can be more complex and involve more players moving. This type of rotation might be used to change a player's position so that we can move a specific player into a more advanced position that will increase the team's overall attacking potential. A more complex rotation that we see in today's game involves the inverted fullback. This rotation allows the team to move midfielders forward and within the team's next line, which is then in turn a more advanced position that increases the team's overall attacking potential. This rotation sees the fullback invert as the team move forward. This movement from the fullback allows the team's midfielders to move forward between the opposition's defensive and midfield lines and within the half spaces. This increases the team's attacking potential by moving key players into more dangerous areas. With more complex rotations, so rotations that are involving more players, so in our example that we've just taken a look at, we've got 3 or 4 players who are all making movements at the same time. It's incredibly important that we maintain balance. With this amount of players moving, for example, if the team then lose the ball in these moments, we then open up space that can be exploited by the opposition as they counterattack. So it's incredibly important that with more complex rotations, the team don't lose balance within these key moments. When thinking about rotations, we can break them down into almost 2 categories. We can have rotations that are coordinated and potentially pre-planned. These can be used, as we just mentioned, to move players into more advanced positions. Or there might be rotations that occur within the game, within the moment, that our players are just recognising and using the 4 references within the game. So we've got the ball, the space, our teammates and the opposition. So if the players can use those reference points to then create opportunities to move and rotate together, they can be even more effective because it can be very hard for the defending team to anticipate what's going to happen next. So that's a look at rotations. I do hope you found the video useful. If you did, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. I've been Coach Reese. Have an amazing day.